Dominique. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. This is going to be another meal prepping video with no carbs, no sugar. So if you guys want to see how this video is going to go, keep watching. Okay, so this is the food I'm going to be using. Turkey has no carbs, collard greens, no carbs, broccoli, no carbs, none of the vegetables, no carbs, ginger, also beef, no carbs, and beef broth and chicken broth, 0 carbs. So let's get started. First thing I want to do is wash my greens, make sure they're nice and clean. After my greens are washed, I like to roll them and cut them in little small pieces. And then I'm going to cut up 2 red peppers and 2 green peppers. I like to cut up all my vegetables before I get started because it's so much easier to prep and cook everything that way. So next we're going to cut up our tomatoes. I have a small tomato, which is much sweeter than the larger tomato. And we're going to cut up and dice up both and then put them in the bowl. Next we have our broccoli. I like to cut off the whole stem of the broccoli and then cut the broccoli tree into little sizes. I also use 2 different onions. I have a sweet onion and then a yellow onion, which has less sweetness to it. So we're gonna dice up both and then put in the bowl. And then next we're gonna peel and mince our garlic. The meal I'm cooking calls for ginger paste, but I'm going to use actual ginger. Okay, I have everything all chopped and screwed. These are my greens, and then I have my red peppers, green peppers, tomatoes, broccoli, garlic, onion, and ginger. Let's get started. First, we're going to make the coat for our steak. I'm using oyster sauce, baking powder, and then we're going to add a half cup of water, and then mix it all together. I'm going to dip our steak into it, and then we're going to fry the steak or saute the steak. So I like to cook 2 or 3 meals at a time. So I'm going to add oils to both pots. Then first I'm going to put my onions in, and I'm going to add my peppers, and then I'm also going to add my garlic to the back pan. Next, we're going to saute our steak until it's brown. You don't want to cook it too long because you also have to saute it with the sauce and the broccoli. My smoked turkey meat has been boiling for 1 hour for my collard greens. Let's make the sauce for the steak and broccoli. So what we're going to do is do a whole cup of soy sauce. That's 2 half a cups, so that's 1 whole cup. And then we're going to add our ginger, add garlic, oyster sauce, we'll say about a teaspoon. And then we're going to add beef broth, also 1 cup. I'm adding both chopped tomatoes to the onions and bell peppers. I'm going to add the broccoli to the beef and broccoli. And then I'm also going to pour the sauce over the beef and broccoli and let it simmer for about 10 minutes. I let the smoked turkey simmer for about 30 more minutes. Then we're going to clear out the pan, pour out the water, and then we're going to make the collard greens the Nigerian way. which one of my coworkers a long time ago told me how to make it. So I added a little bit of oil. We added the garlic and then the 2 chopped onions, the sweet one and the yellow onion. Then we added the green peppers, red peppers, and then we also added a little bit of chicken broth because you want this to come to a simmer and make like a sauce. And then I also added 2 chicken bouillon. Now it's better to use the cubes, but they didn't have the cubes. And then I added tomato sauce to the back pan with the onions and bell peppers and the tomatoes. And they've been simmering for about 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to mix it all together and let it simmer for another 20 minutes. Now for our seasonings, we're going to use adobo all-purpose seasoning. That's about a tablespoon. And then I'm going to use onion powder, which is about 2 tablespoons. And then black pepper, we're going to put in the back pan with the tomatoes, the tomato soup, I think I said sauce, onions and bell peppers, and we're going to make that really spicy. Now, once the actual pot has came to a boil and it start to make a sauce, you want to add your collard greens, half of them, let them cook down, and then stir the sauce into the greens without adding water. And then you're going to add the other half of the greens once your greens has cooked down, and then you're going to mix those into the sauce as well. And then once those are cooked down, you're going to add bone broth, I'll say about 2 cups, and then I'm going to add 4 cups of water until the greens are actually covered. Okay, that was about 6 cups. And then you're going to add your smoked turkey wings back into the pot. The sauce in the back has been simmering for about 30 minutes or so. So we're going to add our meatballs. Then we're going to add honey sriracha, which is really spicy. So if you don't like spicy foods, I do not recommend adding that to your meatballs. And then I also added adobo all-purpose. I added onion powder. I say about 2 tablespoons of both. Go really heavy on the onion powder. I'm also going to add garlic powder. I would say about 1 tablespoon. Then I'm going to boil my carrots. I have the little baby carrots. I added smoked maple, and then I also added paprika on both. And then I just toss those around after I dump the water off. I basically let my carrots boil for about 2 minutes max because I still want to have a little crunch to them. And then I also added paprika to the meatballs in the back. I'll say about 2 tablespoons. Okay, now that my meal prepping is complete, I'm going to go ahead and prep my meals for the week. This would last me for about 4 to 5 days. Everything that I cook, because I like to eat a lot throughout the day. But I also wanted to add that I also do IF, which is intermittent fasting. So I do not eat for 16 hours out the day, and then I only eat for 8 hours throughout the day. So how that works is when you wake up, you're typically supposed to wait 3 hours to eat, which is for me about 12 o'clock noon, and then I stop eating at 8 p.m. So that way to give your stomach time to digest everything at 8. And most of the time you're not eating those 16 hours, you're sleeping. So that's absolutely fine. Okay, so I just finished cooking everything. I have my beef and broccoli with carrots, and then I have turkey meatballs with turkey meatballs with onions and bell peppers and carrots, and then collard greens with turkey. Looks so freaking good. And I already taste the beef and broccoli, and you guys, bum, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Like I said, no carbs, no sugar. I want to shout out to you guys for the 15,000 views of the last video. Want to welcome all my new subscribers. Welcome, welcome. Join, welcome. And I want to thank my mom for my new cutting board and knife set. You are the best. And thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next